Hello and greetings from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Before I begin my presentation, I would like to thank the organizer for this golden opportunity for me to share my research with all of you. I am Erda Wati Bakar from the Language Center of National Defence University of Malaysia. Today, I'm going to share with you my research entitled Peer Jamming, Promoting Collaborative Learning and Enhancing Students' Engagement Using Jamboard. The following is the order of my presentation. We shall begin with introduction, followed by literature review and theoretical perspective, methodology, findings and discussion, and I shall end my sharing session with the implication of study as well as the way forward. Online learning is broadly described as online-based learning, which utilizes information systems that consist of users, technology, processes, and strategies. Online learning becomes highly valuable and instrumental during the pandemic of COVID-19, which forced higher education to be closed and both students and instructors were to continue the process of teaching and learning remotely. When the pandemic hits, the process of teaching and learning is shifted online, which comes with its limitations and setbacks. The shift to online learning due to the pandemic was fraught with difficulties. Within an online setting, students are physically distanced from their peers and their instructors. Students would have the tendency to become disengaged if there's little interaction between students with their peers, instructors, and learning content, thus creating attainment gap. Despite the many challenges, technology is harnessed to alter the ways of teaching and learning and to innovate digital materials, courses, and content. During crises like the pandemic, technology is utilized to sustain the learning process and ease students' anxiety by replicating the actual scenario in a conventional classroom. Digital tools function as mediators and cognitive tools that can enhance the creation of ubiquitous and conducive learning spaces for learners. As a means to address the issue of student-teacher separation, online collaborative tool like Google Jamboard provides a meaningful collaborative learning experience and fairer space for students to express their thoughts freely during synchronous online lesson. Collaborative learning in a form of robust group discussion makes students feeling more connected within an online setting for its facilitated self-efficacy and increased engagement in learning tasks. This research is guided by two research objectives. Firstly, to investigate the level of students' acceptance of using technology in learning language and literature with reference to the use of Google Jamboard. And secondly, to explore students' perceptions toward their experience in using Jamboard during online learning. Upcoming next is just a bit of background of review of literature pertaining to their study. To jam or jamming is a colloquial term which is coined from a social gathering of musicians where musicians improvise their solos and musical arrangements. This term is refashioned to describe a social digital learning event and interaction which occurs in an online setting. Peer jamming is a teaching technique that is based on a conceptual framework which prioritizes expectation management and engagement principles for both students and academics. Peer jamming promotes collaborative learning which supports a significant paradigm shift from professor-centric to learner-centric andragogy that may significantly improve the rapport between the students with their peers and students with their instructors. For those who are not familiar with Google Jamboard, let me enlighten you a bit with the background of Google Jamboard. A Jamboard is basically a digital interactive whiteboard which allows both students to work with their peers and instructors to conduct their brainstorming session or any other collaborative learning activities in a much more meaningful and interactive manner. Jamboard asserted that the use of this interactive whiteboard not only has revolutionized online learning, but also it promotes communication skills, critical thinking, creativity, and collaborative skills between students and also instructors. Discussion session can be done remotely or face-to-face as group members convene in real time to discuss the assignment tasks and organize their ideas via the Jamboard. Jamboard is indeed an innovative pedagogical tool which provides seamless facilitation of all groups during online classes and triggers discussion by encouraging students to justify their opinion and develop reasoning during their peer jamming session. This study is mainly framed by the Technological Acceptance Model, or better known as TAM, to examine on the overall level of acceptance among students at higher education on the use of Jamboard for language learning. Individual behavior in technology adoption can be predicted by perception and belief. The model term suggests that when students are exposed to a new technology, many factors can influence their acceptance decision. The model predicted that an individual's behavioral intention to use technology is directly impacted by two crucial factors. First, perceived ease of use, which refers to the level of individual belief that technology is easy to apply or effortless, thus driving individuals to adopt or use the technology. While perceived usefulness explains that technology can improve performance and support tasks and encourages individuals to use technology to assist him or her to complete a particular task. Finally, the attitude variable, or the behavioral intention to use variable in the model, reflects an individual's favorable or unfavorable assessment towards making a behavior. The use of Jamboard was utilized in an online group discussion in which the students were required to analyze a Malaysian poem by analyzing it critically by identifying the different literary elements as featured in the poem. They were to produce a concept or visual map outlining the results of their discussion. To examine the experience using the Jamboard, this study has employed a quantitative design in which a questionnaire was adapted from Yang and Wong 2019, as well as from Jackson and Verham 2000, in which this questionnaire was later distributed to the first-year students from Languages and Cross-Cultural Communication Program at National Defence University Malaysia via the Google form, who took up the subject Language and Literature as an elective course in their second semester. The survey was answered by 9 male and 25 female students with the age range between 18 to 22 years old. Findings from the survey were later tabulated and analyzed descriptively by the Google form. The following depicts the responses of the students pertaining to items related to perceived usefulness. It enables everyone to participate, receive the highest percentage with 85.3%, and 70.6% of the respondents agreed that Jamboard is indeed a good online tool. While item using Jamboard is easier than face-to-face group work received the lowest percentage with only 14.7%. Based on the survey results, as depicted in this table, Jamboard's capacity to support explicit thinking and collaborative learning efficiently among students in sharing their ideas, utilizing visual supports, and creating space to express their creativity and innovative thinking is found to be highly beneficial, especially for English language learners. Next, the survey also has listed 3 items to measure the respondents' perceived ease of use of the Jamboard. From the table, we can see the respondents have given unanimous positive responses from them on the use of Jamboard as an engagement and collaborative tool, which showed the importance for students to feel as part of the members of the community and not feeling isolated. Apart from supporting learning and developing digital skills, Jamboard also helps students to become more autonomous during the collaborative work as they negotiate different perspectives and ideas when designing their concept maps. Finally, in the third variable, for behavioral intention to use or attitude of the respondents in using the technology, we can see that in general, the respondents have expressed their keenness and interest on using Jamboard for collaborative learning. The students also considered that Jamboard was a valuable tool to be used in their language and literature classes. The innovative features of Jamboard are user-friendly that allows concept maps to be designed easily. However, despite the benefits of Jamboard, the respondents have stated several challenges while using it. The main challenge that they have encountered is poor internet connection, which prevented them from accessing Jamboard, as well as it has limited features like limited color palettes and number of words to be written on the board. As a conclusion, this study has shown students' positive experience in using Jamboard and their intention to continue using the digital tool. The result from the survey based on the TOM questionnaire indicated high level of acceptance among the students. The students agreed that group discussions become more enjoyable and engaging as they explored the different features of Jamboard, such as its colorful features and choosing a background for their maps. The findings also expressed students' willingness and intention to continue using Jamboard and acknowledge its suitability as a learning tool. With reference to this research, as a way forward, it is important to expand this study within the context of new time and new normal. In the post-pandemic era, digital tools such as Google Jamboard are useful in creating digital teaching and learning environments, which is proven to increase learners' motivation and improve learning outcomes. It is essential for instructors at higher education, especially, to integrate digital technology as a means to address students' learning preferences and needs by engaging them in meaningful online interactions within a supportive learning community. Living in a post-pandemic and VUCA era requires instructors to reflect on their pedagogical practices and continue upskilling themselves in order to produce flexible pedagogical models for higher education as part of their preparedness effort for future crises. The following are some of the references that I have used to complete this study. That's the end of my sharing session. I hope findings from this research may instigate future research pertaining to creative pedagogical approach via online platforms, especially within the area of language learning and teaching. The following, as you can see, I have attached my contact details, and I look forward to engage any future collaborations with all of you out there. Have a good day, and I will see you in the next session. Bye.